Welcome to Sterling Visionary Voices, the podcast dedicated to bringing you diverse, innovative leadership insights and actionable strategies for success. Join hosts Laura McNeil and Bob Madeiros as they explore the art and science of role model leadership through thought-provoking conversations with real professionals. Whether you're a seasoned leader or aspiring to excellence, Sterling Visionary Voices is your guide to navigating the complexities of your leadership journey.
Hello and welcome to Sterling Visionary Voices. I'm your host, Bob Madeiros, and it's my pleasure to introduce our guest today, Ms. Nicole Sheckler. Now, Nicole is an accomplished healthcare leader with more than 2 decades of experience spanning transplant operations, strategic planning, community engagement, and human resources. She currently serves as the Director of Strategic Operations for Life Alliance Organ Recovery Agency, an organ procurement organization serving 6 counties in South Florida and the Bahamas, one of the most culturally diverse regions in the United States. Now, under her leadership, the agency has implemented bold, culturally responsive programming to increase donor designations among underserved populations. She brings a career foundation in human resources, labor relations, and healthcare operations with a long-standing passion for workforce development, patient-centered care, and health equity. Nicole, it is so nice to welcome you to Sterling Visionary Voices.
Thank you, Bob. It's so very nice to be here.
Excellent. So this episode is kind of a continuation of our series, An Examiner's Story, where we get an understanding of the benefits of becoming a Sterling Examiner and talking with various folks who are engaged in that pursuit. But just for background, could you tell us a little bit about your organization, the Life Alliance Organ Recovery Agency?
Absolutely. My privilege. So Life Alliance Organ Recovery Agency, as you referenced, is an organ procurement organization. We are one of 55 across the United States. Our designation is all of South Florida and the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And what our role is, Bob, is our mission is to provide life-saving organs while we care for the families of those donor heroes that either provided organ, eye, or tissue donation. And, it's incredibly meaningful work. The team is so committed to the mission and the service of our community. But we are the team who works with the hospitals when someone has been identified for potential donation. And we walk the hospital and then the family through the process. We also do all of the allocation, and we work on the logistics as it relates to transplant lists and those who are waiting. We do the procurement, and then logistically we make sure that those viable organs get to those individuals who have been waiting. So we do lots of stuff, but the mission is always first and foremost.
Wow. Well, that's such a great reason for being, a great way to, coming in every day and doing your job. It sounds like you have a passion for this.
It is the first time, I can tell you honestly, that I have ever felt like I truly make a difference to an organization. That is, my primary focus as far as my work is concerned. It's been a long time coming, but it is, as you said, makes it easy to get up in the morning and do what we need to do because it makes a difference.
Yes. Well, that's very interesting, and I appreciate you sharing and helping our audience get an understanding of your organization and what they do out there in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at this time, could you share a little background on how you personally got involved with the Sterling Board of Examiners?
Sure. So when I started in Life Alliance in 2019, I started in a different role. And one of the things when I first hit the floor, hit the doors coming in was, oh, yeah. And by the way, we're going through this Sterling process thing that we need you to take a lead on and help us because we're planning on submitting a challenge application. Um, so that's how I got introduced to Sterling, kind of uh, by fire hose, I guess you could say.
Mm.
But the organization itself was already in the process of pursuing its performance excellence journey through Sterling. And then it was recommended as we had went through our first challenge application. It was the time of COVID. We were the first organization to do a totally virtual on-site. But it was recommended at that time, have you ever considered becoming a Sterling examiner as well? And thought about it, realized the importance that not only would it be to the organization and the fact that we were on this mission and having that knowledge base and that understanding, but, personally and professionally, the growth opportunities that could potentially come with it, that came with it, and just the excitement of being able to help other organizations who are on similar paths that we were was just, it was a no-brainer. It was not a volunteer. It was absolutely yes.
Excellent. Well, very good. It sounds like that whole process really is a great personal development opportunity for an individual. How have you personally used what you've learned through being an examiner?
So what I've learned through being an examiner, it obviously helps to continue to build. We're always learning, we're always growing, we're always, expanding. And it was an opportunity to continue to work with different teams from other organizations with the same goal and the same mission to provide the same, great feedback that had meaning and that an organization could do something with. So there's that aspect of it where you get exposure to all of these other groups out there who might not be doing the same business that you're doing, but have that same mindset. And in addition to that, as far as personally and professionally growing from it, I'm able to take what I learn as an examiner back to my own organization and apply it, because the repetition, everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody's on the same path. Again, it might be a little bit different, but to be able to bring that back to your own organization, to be able to see what others are doing, their best practices, those incredible things that are being highlighted. It also is very helpful in the sense where it can be brought back to your own organization and you can say, it's worked here. Let's try it. Let's see if it could potentially work for us as well. And we have done that. We've built it into our strategic planning as well. Part of our strategic planning process, we follow the Sterling guidelines. And so that's how it's helped.
Wow. Well, you mentioned how it provides you as an examiner an opportunity to see other organizations and seeing best practices out there on how they do things and being able to bring that back. That's great. You've kind of covered the personal development side, and I think you've just talked about it a little bit, but from an organizational level, how do you feel that having a Sterling examiner on your staff really ends up helping the organization?
So for us in particular, having Sterling examiners on staff, again, because we have embedded the Sterling principles into what we do and how we do it, it's a huge part of our strategic planning process. To be able to bring that application back to the staff, to be able to bring that knowledge back to the staff on how a well-performing organization performs, is just incredible. And the team itself, going through, not only hearing it, of course, from me as an examiner, but going through the Sterling process itself I'm so proud of them. After a few years, it's always becoming an examiner, going through the process as an applicant. It is challenging. It's a good challenge. However, if you are diligent and you continue to use that, I have seen the team, like, they use words, Sterlingese, that I never thought that they would. As an examiner, you have people look at you and go, what are you saying? Could you say that differently? Draft the team now, and unless they're really new to the organization, they know exactly what you're talking about, how to respond, the importance of data. We have, in our line of business, we have tremendous amounts of data at our fingertips all the time. But what are we doing with that? And how does that translate? And what does that look like as far as results are concerned? I've been able to use that component and what I've learned, bringing it back to the organization, further explaining to the team, showing them that importance, and showing them that, these are, at the end of the day, they're simple principles, but they're critically important to be a well-run organization.
Very good. It sounds like there are some really great learning opportunities throughout the examiner training, and then being able to apply those when you have an opportunity to work on a team. Well, between the training and the annual leadership conference in May, what would you say was your one biggest takeaway?
It's funny, it changes every year. So when you initially start as an examiner, it's about that training and about that application and preparing to do that work that you signed up to do. That's so critical to that organization that's waiting for that feedback. And then you get into the process as a team, and you have that opportunity to work together and review those applications and really see things from another's perspective. But again, coming up with a final product that is meaningful to an organization. And then, of course, the annual conference, which is sort of like the culmination at the end. I would think for this past year, for me, it was the conference. I had taken a year away from the conference because I had a graduation to attend the year prior. But that conference that is put on by Sterling is so relevant, and anyone can attend. You don't have to be an examiner. You don't have to be a part of the process. There is something for everybody, whether it's the leadership track, whether it's whatever it is that you're doing. There are so many takeaways that you can immediately go back and say, all right, I need to do this, or we need to do this, depending on how you fit into the organization.
Right. Very good. Well, let me ask, if you could share one thought. This is almost like a mini elevator speech, but if you could share one thought for anyone out there considering joining the Examiner Corps, recognizing that it seems to be a kind of a foreboding kind of thing out there, what to help draw them over the line, what would you share with them?
It is a commitment. You are volunteering. You are volunteering for the greater good of these organizations that want to be better, and you have the opportunity to be a part of that and say, I was on that team when that award was given to that organization to highlight what they do well, where they still have a couple of areas they can tweak and elevate that performance to the next level, but you have that opportunity to be a part, again, personal, professional growth. And the other piece of it is, as a new examiner, especially when you make that commitment and you put in that time, give it time. The first year, you're right into it. It's brand new. Again, Sterling language is not necessarily everybody's language, but it comes, and through the process, it starts to make sense. And when you see it working and happening with your team, and then you're finally on site, it all comes together. Just be patient. It will come, and the benefits that you will get, I am hoping personally, are so well worth it.
Good. You brought up some really good points. It is really a volunteer organization. There's the personal and professional growth opportunity. And as a first-year examiner or first time getting engaged in the process, the neat thing is you're not on your own. You get a mentor, a seasoned examiner that kind of helps you through trying to understand all this fire hose of data that we're sharing with them.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing about that Sterling process is, like you mentioned, you have your leader, you have your co-leads, but you also have members on your team that are at different levels in their journey with Sterling as an examiner. And once you have that opportunity to start interacting as a team, it just all comes together. And when everybody's in it for the same reasons, it's a beautiful thing to hold and watch how that process takes place. So yeah.
I love how you reference that whole team dynamic. Working together on a team with that same goal. It's and seeing it come to fruition. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Nicole, it's truly been my pleasure talking with you today about your perspective on the benefits of becoming a Sterling examiner.
Always my pleasure.
Excellent. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said anything that Sterling needs. I'm committed, and I just hope that others can see that, give it an opportunity, and it is so well worth the time, the effort. It is.
Absolutely. Well, you just heard from Nicole. For you to find out more out there on how you can get involved in the exciting development opportunity, simply go to thesterlingcouncil.org, and you can click on the Board of Examiners tab to the right to get further information. Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank all of you out there for joining us here at Sterling Visionary Voices. To hear other episodes, just go to sterlingvisionaryvoices.com. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of Sterling Visionary Voices, Insights for Role Model Leadership from the Sterling Council. Discover more and connect with us at sterlingvisionaryvoices.com.